Hello students, welcome to this mathematics session for grade 8. So we are going to continue with the topic of HCF and factorization of algebraic expressions. In today's session, we are going to remain with factorization of algebraic expressions using the grouping method. Right? But this time we are going to take problems which seem to be a bit difficult. So let us start factorization of expressions by grouping. The first example, we are told to factorize completely. First part, we have ax plus 5a plus x plus 5. So this is our given expression that we need to factorize. The first step is to take two terms at a time and we write them in expanded form, right? So I take the first two terms. We have ax, it is simply a times x. You have your plus, you insert the plus. We have 5a, it is simply 5 times a, right? So the first two terms have been written in expanded form. Now we take the next two terms. Of course, we have a plus here, so we insert our plus. X is simply 1 times x, right? We have again plus. 5 is 1 times 5, right? We continue. Now we take out the common factor. As you can see, the common factor is a, so a has to be outside the brackets. We are left with x plus 5 inside the bracket. Okay, you insert your plus. Again we take out the common factor, which is 1 here, outside the brackets. We are left with x plus 5. Okay, as you can see, now this is a situation of compound factors, which we have already explained in the previous session. X plus 5 is appearing twice, so meaning it is common. So we have to remove x plus 5 outside the pair of brackets because it is common, right? X plus 5 is common, so we have removed it outside the bracket here. Now we are left with a plus 1. Okay, so this is the first part, right? Let us see the second part now. We have sy plus ty minus s minus t, right? Again we write the expression in expanded form. The first two terms, sy is simply s times y plus ty is t times y, right? Now there is a minus here. You write down the minus, of course, but you have to be very careful. We are removing a minus outside the brackets. You remember, when we remove minus outside the bracket, what will happen to the next sign? the next sign is going to change to plus. You remember in the previous session we have explained this, right? S. S is simply 1 times S. Then we have T. It is 1 times T. Right? Now we remove the common factor. In the first pair of brackets, the common factor is Y. So we remove Y outside the brackets. So we are left with S plus T. Right? You have your minus, insert the minus. Now for the second pair of brackets, what is the common factor? The common factor is simply 1. Okay, so 1 is outside the bracket. We are left with S plus T again. Right? Now as you can see, S plus T is appearing twice, meaning S plus T is common, meaning we have to take S plus T outside the pair of brackets. Okay, so we are left with Y minus 1, right? Okay, we carry on with another example. Here we need to factorize completely x squared plus 4ax minus 3x minus 12a, right? What do we do? The first step is to write each term in expanded form, right? X squared is simply x times x. You have your plus, write down plus. 4ax, 4, it is simply 2 times 2. Now since you have ax, you have to include a times x, right? So our first two terms in expanded form. Now we have the minus sign, we include the minus sign, but we have to be very careful again because we have removed minus outside the brackets, right? When you have removed minus outside the brackets, what will happen to the next sign? The next sign is going to change, right? So it is minus, it becomes plus, right? So now we write down 3x in expanded form. It is simply 3 times x, and 12a in expanded form. 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. This is 12, and you have a. Simply you have to write down times a. Okay, now we take out the common factor for the first pair of brackets here. What is the common factor? Common factor is simply x. So we are left with x plus. Now what is 2 times 2 times a? 2 times 2 is 4. Then you write down a. Okay? 2 times 2, 4 times a. You include the a. Minus. Write down minus, of course. Now for the second pair of brackets, what is the common factor? The common factor is 3. So 3 outside. We are left with x plus, again, 2 times 2 is 4. Then we have a. You write down the a. Okay. So we carry on. Here we have x plus a. Here also we have x plus 4a. X plus 4a, sorry. Here we have x plus 4a. Again we have x plus 4a. So x plus 4a is common. So we take out x plus 4a outside. And we are left with x minus 3. Okay? It is not difficult. All you have to do is you have to write down each term in expanded form correctly in the first step. If you do the first step correctly, then all other steps you will get it correct as well. Okay, so let us see this example now. Right, so we have again to factorize completely 2a plus 3 plus 2ax plus 3x. Right? Now, let us observe something carefully here. For the first two terms, can you spot the common factor directly here? Can you see the common factor? 2a and 3. No, we can't say directly what is the common factor. Right? Because we don't see the common factor. Right? What about the next two terms here? Can we easily identify the common factor? Here we have 2ax. Here we have 3x. Can we easily identify the common factor? Of course, yes. The common factor is x because in both terms we have x. So x is the common factor. You see, for the next two terms, we have been able to identify easily the common factor. What about the first two terms? Can we easily identify the common factor? What is the common factor? What is the common factor? Can we easily identify? No. We can't identify the common factor for the first two terms as it is. Right? So in this case, what are we going to do? Still, we are going to follow the same steps in expanded form. Okay. 2a is 2 times a. Then what you have to write? You have to write down times 1 as well. Because we can't easily pick the common factor. When you have a situation like this where you can't easily say what is the common factor, you have to include times 1. Okay? Then you have your plus, you insert your plus. 3 is simply 3 times 1. Okay? We carry on. You have your plus, no problem when you have plus outside a bracket. 2ax. Let me erase this. 2ax is 2 times a times x. You have your plus, you put your plus, and the last term 3x, 3 times x. Now let us see whether we can take out the common factor now for the first pair of brackets. What is a common factor? Can we easily see the common factor now? Of course, yes, we can say what is the common factor. The common factor is simply 1, right? So 1 is outside. We are left with 2a plus 3. Okay, we continue. We have a plus here. Now let us take out the common factor for the second pair of brackets. What is the common factor? The common factor is x. We are left again with 2a plus 3, right? So we have 2a plus 3 appearing twice, meaning 2a plus 3 is common. So we take out 2a plus 3 outside the brackets, and we are left with 1 plus x. Okay, so that's it. You have to be very careful with these type of questions. When you can't spot the common factor directly, what you have to do, you have to write the terms in terms of 1. That is, you multiply by 1. Then you will be able to identify the common factor, which is going to be 1. Okay, right? So this completes your entire chapter of HCF and factorization of algebraic expressions. Okay, I hope you have been able to understand all parts of this chapter which have been covered. In the next session we are going to carry on with another chapter, maybe LCM. Till then, see you for the next session and take care.